to everyone out there who may be tuning in for the first time. Yeah, it's been a minute. I do appreciate everyone's patience. The last where am I at? Last couple of months have been pretty chaotic. So I'm glad to be back doing my thing. Just give me a minute. Just doing a sound check. And can you hear me? Yep. Cool. Alrighty. I'm always paranoid about the sound. I think it's because I've gone much longer than usual without doing a live stream. But yeah, now I'm back. With the help, strangely enough, of ChatGPT, which I gotta say is a surprisingly useful tool. Like, if there's an app out there that absolutely has a subscription value that I think is personally like worth the money, it definitely would have to be ChatGPT. So this is part of a much bigger job that I've been working on. particular part of this drawing, which is based off of this, which is a packet of chips. Which, you know, these are just obviously just regular same old chips. And but what makes them unique and what makes them stand out is the fact that they're the packaging art is really, really cool. Like each packet of these chips tells like this unique and interesting story. Alright. So I haven't really eaten potato chips in a long time. So I wanted to make this look even more dramatic. So what's his face? Yeah, Joe Biden apparently sort of come out of, I guess, retirement and started doing speeches again after he lost. I mean, the weird thing is, like, everything feels, different. Everything feels, disjointed and strange. And also, it feels like summer never ends. Like, we're in the middle of April. We're getting very close to what is supposed to be the start of winter, and it still feels like summer. Like, I get it that Australia is a naturally hot country, but I have lived for a bit over 40 years, and I can't really remember Australia, particularly Sydney, being this hot for this long. Especially now that daylight savings is finished. It's just really weird for it to be this, like, consistently hot for this long. But anyway, I digress. Find myself talking about the weather. Yeah, I can't believe it's been almost 2 months since I was last live. And like, I kind of switched between like video games and drawing. But now that my circumstances have changed, I think I'll just stick to drawing from now on. You'll have to bear with me for a minute. This is one of the fun aspects of living in a country that doesn't seem to understand what seasons are. It's stuffy as hell in this room. And it's not just because I've got like 4 computers on in here. Anyway. Here's something I prepared earlier. I'm just using this for reference. I'm kind of using this particular drawing to get me back into the swing of live streaming. which I find that I need to do now. Like, I've recently also returned to the gym. Like, do you ever not make a New Year's resolution and you just let life kind of happen to you? And then you wake up one day realizing, oh, life is just happening to me. It's a very sobering and frustrating moment in your life. Like, you actually take a step back and notice the slipping through of the hourglass that is your life. Like, I probably should also mention that I have recently become a father, so there's that. And that has its own share of complexities. Because I think of all the things that, give me a minute. Yep. Sound quality is surprisingly good. Yeah, of all the things that life doesn't quite really prepare you for, it's well, not so much life, but school. Like, I only have sort of vague memories of school, particularly like, primary school and stuff, but I just distinctly remember not being taught anything kind of practical or in-depth acceptable amount. Like, nothing truly prepares you for adulthood quite like actual adults deliberately not preparing you for adulthood. Like, just let them be kids, they're having so much fun. And I'm just like, yeah, that's great and everything, but, it's sort of like that mindset where people name babies like they're not going to grow up to be adults one day. And I think that's one of the other things that I find, interesting about, like, naming, just in general. Because on one hand, you've got, people who opt for traditional names, and then you've got people that go for sort of naming trends. So, in about 50 years from now, we're going to have like nursing homes full of Tylers and Skylers, particularly in the United States. Not really, like, Tyler is kind of a name in Australia, but it's nowhere near as like universally popular and so like easily recognizable as a 90s thing. Oh, hey, Court. it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been on here. Yeah, I was just remarking that yeah, a lot has changed since I last went live. Like I'm planning on actually going live way more. Hey Draco. Yeah, it's I've actually got like a proper like schedule now. I'll actually so here's the basic idea. If you can sort of read that. Like that's when I plan to go live. As often as I can. Today's kind of a test, I guess, with like the new schedule. Get this. This was actually put together for me through ChatGPT. So I just put this in my phone, and yeah, I'm trying it out. Yeah, so I plan to be live Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and obviously that's subject to change. I mean, I've kind of got to leave myself an out because being a new dad just has a whole bunch of challenges that I didn't really see coming at all. Yeah, I mean, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to do like as much of that as I possibly can, but I'm going away overseas um, for a bit over, well, actually a bit under 2 weeks. So I'm gonna see if I can stick to that, but if I can't, yeah, don't get too mad at me. That's why my tagline is I go live when I can, and this is one of those times. Her name is Melody, and she's my pride and joy. Wait a minute. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's really cool having a little tacker. I mean, she's mostly with her mum because, you know, obviously I don't have the equipment. But it is, I got to admit, it's a lot of fun being a dad. Like people just treat you like a celebrity when you have a baby. Like, oh my god, baby, and just like, yeah, she doesn't do much, but she's cute as, so yeah. Oh, thanks, mate. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. And that's it. That's the other reason why I've sort of chosen to return to live streaming way more conscientiously than I did before. is because I got to start making some actual money now. Like, doing more content creation. So I'm combining work with like that kind of stuff anyway. So what you see here, this is all like paid stuff. Have you guys been going? I also should point out that there is a distinct lack of background music for this one. I kind of just jumped into this one without like doing my normal like long intro and like playing my theme songs and stuff, which I think is kind of nice. Like you usually hear like the music in the background of so many other content creators, and I think that distracts a bit. Oh, good. That's great. Tattoos, nice. Yeah, I've been asked to like design tattoos in the past, and the people that always like approach me about it, they're a bit like the Facebook Marketplace. They're like, "Hey, do you design tattoos?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." Great, and then I never hear from them again. So I'm like, "Okay, fine, I guess." Or like I'll show them some samples of what I've done, and they're like, "Wow, that looks so cool on my arm or my back or whatever," and then they're just like, they immediately for some reason just get cold feet, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, well I'm here if you need me." I don't know. I find paper, just a much more like forgiving medium compared to skin. Although I must admit, I had one guy actually get some of my stuff as tattoos put on him, and he's actually ordered some more, so that might be a nice upcoming stream. Like I'll actually work on that. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, the Japanese tattoos are amazing. Like you see the ones on the Yakuza, and they're like, oh, Japanese society looks down on them and stuff, and like, yeah, but the tattoos are still amazing. Like you see their the back pieces they've got, like these huge, elaborate, like they go from like the back of their neck all the way down to their bum crack, and you just think, wow, that's something else. Oh, absolutely. Like I wish I could have seen like some Yakuza people when I was in Japan like last year, but we weren't there for long enough, and I'm pretty sure like people like that usually keep a fairly like low profile. Oh, thank you, mate. Yeah, it's. Have you guys ever tried these chips? They're like, I don't know, Snackachangi chips, which I'm pretty sure are just like regular potato chips, you know. But because like the packaging looks so cool, I decided to do like my own sort of version of it. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, and that's the thing about like just walking through the streets of Japan anyway. Like that country is so like immaculately clean and so interesting to look at that you don't really notice the people that much. You notice like all the other stuff. Like I mean, the people are like relatively interesting to look at, but man, like just the just the cities and like the streets and even the suburbs, just so much like amazing distracting things. I can't wait to go back, but I'm pretty sure I won't be going to Japan this year. I'm not sure what the go is. I might, but it's unlikely. Haven't got anything booked. Oh yeah, 100%. Like I didn't realize how bad the lack of bins were until like until I like visited one of their like they've got vending machines everywhere, and they're really cheap and they're really convenient, but you have to sort of hang around the vending machine because that's the only place anywhere that has an actual bin. And yeah, I ended up carrying like bottles in my bag. I ended up getting like this really gross tasting sort of matcha green tea thing. Like I thought all matcha tasted amazing until I tried this one particular type of matcha, and I'm like going, ugh. It just tasted like sort of old dishwater. Ugh. And yeah, I just did not like it at all. So I ended up carrying it with me, and I spent the next like hour and a half wandering through like these streets in Tokyo trying to find a bin, and all I found were like letterboxes and fire hydrants. In the end, I just I just went back to where the vending machine was and actually found the bin, and yeah. Yeah, Tokyo, like Japan, just in general, is really strict about that kind of stuff. Like bins are harder to find in that country than like rare Pokemon. And it's just little things like I also found there's like a lot of English language there, like on the signs and stuff. There's actually plenty of English around, and I was genuinely shocked because I heard that the people don't really speak it and stuff, and I get that, but like enough of them did. But then again, I did end up going to like McDonald's and Starbucks and all that, so I think that sort of came with the territory. I essentially spent the entire time in very touristy areas, so I think like the locals just sort of knew enough English to be able to like communicate effectively with people that had like like zero Japanese. Oh, cool, nice. Oh yeah, like I mean, all the Japanese I ended up learning for that entire trip was arigato and hi, and that was enough to basically get me from point A to point B. And for everything else, I just set it into my phone and showed people my screen and said, "Do you know where this is, or can you take me to this place?" And yeah, that was super accommodating. And my God, that country's safe. Not once did I ever feel like, even vaguely threatened at any point. I mean, Tokyo is overwhelming when you first go there, but you quickly sort of get into the groove and you realize that you're just a tourist and people just sort of like leave you alone. Like of all the countries I've been to, hands down, Japan lives up to the hype. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think like there's enough, particularly younger people, uh, reasonably reasonably good with English, and it's also because like they don't expect you to speak or understand their language at all. And as far as like cultural exchange goes, like that's pretty cool. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm wanting to sort of brush up on my Japanese for my next trip there, which may be next year. I don't know. I'll plan out like a full on itinerary, do some vlogging while I'm out there. Because I haven't done like a proper vlog in forever. Like, have you been writing much, Draco, or is it hasn't been like d- decent weather since what's it called? The cyclone hit. You weren't caught in the cyclone, were you? Man, that was crazy. wiped up that cyclone. Yeah, exactly. Like it's it's interesting. Like you just think, oh, batten down the hatches and stuff like that because Aussies are so used to seeing like natural disasters like happening in the US and stuff, and we automatically think, oh, this is the big one, and like you know, tropical storms that sort of blow in from the South Pacific are nowhere near as crazy as like the hurricanes that hit the States. Like, I mean, it's another reason to call Australia the lucky country because even our like really bad natural disasters still fall under the category of she'll be right, mate. But I mean, was there panic buying of toilet paper like with the pandemic and stuff, or was it just sort of some people were freaking out, but most people were like, yeah, nah, this happens. Yeah. I'm also back at the gym, which is great. Like, you ever just like let your gym membership like almost lapse into total disrepair, and then you finally sort of get up the gumption to go back and get some value out of the thing that you've been paying monthly for, and then you wake up with like such amazing muscle soreness that you can't move for the next 2 days because your body just returns to its natural like lazy state. And that's one of the things I've never liked about the gym. It's just how quickly your muscles just go back to like normal. You essentially just have to do you have to go to the gym for the rest of your life pretty much to like maintain what you've got. People are like, oh, if you don't use it you lose it and stuff. I'm just like thinking, why should we have to use it constantly and then lose it? It doesn't make any sense. It's not fair, dang it. But anyway, who cares? The main thing is like the muscle soreness doesn't last that long, which is great. And the more you get back into that particular groove as well, you realize, I was just being lazy and now I'm being punished for it. Yep. Yeah, man, I know what you mean. And like, because I'm in my 40s now, I find that like I know how to recover. It's just like, okay, I'm not going to push myself any further than I absolutely have to. Just going to give this a maximum of 2 days, maybe 3 if I'm feeling like particularly lethargic, and then I'm back to it. But I'm not going to go too crazy. And I love the treadmill as well. Like, I used to think the treadmill was fruity and silly, but now I'm just like, this could be like the best machine here. I can just chuck on my music or whatever like podcast I've got on and just, yeah. And you get that like you get that sense of accomplishment as well. You ever like do you get to you finish your steps and you're like going, oh cool, haha, I made it. And then you realize that your steps reset like every day, and you've got to do that every day. Otherwise, your mobile like fitness app starts to judge you. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the best part of it, you know. The one thing I do not like about the treadmill, however, is if you're on it for too long, you kind of get that strange, like, motion sickness feeling. Like, the minute you walk off the treadmill, you still feel like you're, like, sort of moving forward without moving forward. I think that has something to do with, like, your inner ear or something, you know? This guy's sort of a crazy hairy chest. Give him Wolverine pecs. Have you guys seen the Minecraft movie by any chance? Or have you just sort of sat back and watched the reports about all the chaos that seems to happen in movie theaters? What did you think of it? Did you like it, or is it more of a wait until it comes? Oh, really? Cool. Yeah, I was thinking of going and seeing it, but I'm just like, well, having a new baby and not having like any time to really sort of schedule a date is extraordinarily difficult. And just seeing like all those reports about like, you know, these kids just freaking out whenever Jack Black said chicken jockey and like throwing their popcorn in the air and setting off fire alarms and getting into brawls and stuff. I'm just thinking, yeah, I'll wait till this comes out on streaming. Did you have the kids like freaking out in the theater, or was your viewing just pretty tame and not particularly controversial? Because I think, yeah, the kids only started like freaking out at the chicken jockey bit, like I think from the I think like in the first week or something. I don't know. Huh, that's amazing. Yeah, like I had no idea who Technoblade was until I did a bit of research, and yeah, I was like, oh, that poor guy. He's like a really good Minecraft player, and Yeah, he died of cancer really young. It's like far out. That's sad. Like I'll be the first to admit that I just never got into Minecraft. Like I don't know what it is about that game. It's just I gave it a chance. I really wanted to like it, but I'm just like I'm looking at it thinking I can't make heads or tails of this. I don't know what I'm looking at most of the time. Like I grew up with the original Mario, so that was kind of my jam when I was a kid. And let me tell you, the movie that they came up with, like the live action Mario, yeah, that was the first time that I was ever like witness to a movie being not great at all. Hang on, sorry, I'm using my iPhone as like my overhead, and for some reason it just keeps moving. All right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even played it to the point where I've encountered any of the bosses in the game, you know what I mean? Like I just sort of run around and cut down trees by punching them and sort of I build like a couple of structures and everything. But like just from my own point of view, like there's nothing particularly compelling about any of it that sort of keeps me there. Like I have the same kind of like I want to like this, but for some reason I just can't. I have a similar sort of reaction to games like Fortnite. Like I want to like that game, but I just can't. And it sort of it puts me. It reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons where Principal Skinner's like, "Am I that out of touch?" And I'm thinking, yeah, yeah, I'm at that age where I'm pretty much that out of touch, unfortunately. But I don't know. I think also like having a little one, and like having to sort of raise and sort of teach and everything like that. And I'm just thinking, oh, they're gonna be into like all that kind of like I'm gonna like have like video games and stuff, and they're gonna be into video games, and I'm gonna have to learn what kind of video games they like, and will things like Roblox be a thing still when she's old enough to play and stuff, and yeah. Just little things like that that I never really considered before, and now they're at the forefront of my mind. Oh yeah, like I mean, I think the only game that is like Minecraft that I've played recently that I actually enjoyed was Power World. Like I got into that. I thought that was actually pretty cool. But like it wasn't enough to hold my interest. Like, I think the controversy surrounding Power World was enough to sort of keep me engaged for a little while, but eventually it just got to the point where I'm like thinking, yeah, I've built a bunch of stuff. I've maxed out a bunch of characters. I really like the fact that I was able to, defeat these certain, animals or whatever. I figured out how to raise them myself, which I thought was really cool. But, you know, life sort of started creeping in again and getting in the way, and I'm just thinking, I don't have the time to go out hunting and, you know, killing these and capturing these, you know, weird Pokemon rip-off animals. And that's another thing, like apparently apparently Nintendo sued them. I haven't really been keeping up with that kind of stuff though. Like video game news sort of interests me. Like it used to be like really way more important, but now I just find myself sort of slipping away from it a bit. Like I sit down and play something, and you know, it's usually Overwatch. Like I love Overwatch. Overwatch is still like a really good sort of time sink game because you can just like do a couple of quick matches and sort of get it out of your system. But you know, I'm like, responsibility. My brain just goes, oh, responsibilities. You remember those because you still got them, and I'm like, yeah, okay, fair enough. Hightail. I'll look that one up, because like when I travel and stuff, I do like having like when there's downtime when I'm on the plane and everything. I do like, you know, having you know, a couple of video games here and there just to sort of kill time and everything. I also like what are they called? Like mobile games as well. Just anything that I can sort of jump in and jump out of without any like real sort of like lasting consequences. Like, you know, when you're in the middle of like a multiplayer game and you just have to bail out of it for whatever reason, and you get like one of those like timeout strikes, and you think, I paid for this. Huh. Because yeah, life unfortunately just gets in the way, and you're just thinking, oh, I've got priorities. Sorry, don't mean to step on toes or anything, but I'm required elsewhere. But it's all good. I think striking a balance is the best way going forward with these sorts of things. Yeah, we're at the hour mark. Just shy of an hour. This is the longest I've been live in like the better part of 2 months. Would like to welcome everyone who's just dropping in, checking it out. Lurking for a little while. Oh yeah, like lobby penalties and stuff like that. You know, I mean, they don't really last that long, but if your like Wi-Fi is on the fritz and stuff, that can be one of the most frustrating experiences because you just think, oh, okay, this is not good. because it's not you that's sort of like ignoring your responsibilities in the team. It's just your internet just messing up, and then you get punished for it. And I've had like penalties where I've just been like, I've got my friends there going, mate, you gonna come in? I'm like, I can't. My internet decided to disconnect me twice, and now I've got now I've got to sit in. Now I've got a timeout. I mean, that's pretty rare when that happens, but my God, it's annoying. Like, what other games do you normally play? Like, realistically, I've only got time for myself to play like a couple of quick matches on Overwatch, and you remember like Fruit Ninja? Yeah. Like, I sometimes play that. Like, this game has not changed really in any significant way since it was first released, and I love it. And the problem is, like every sort of mobile game is festooned with ads, and it's always constantly like going, oh, pay for this power up or whatever. But I'm just like, nah, I just came here to play this for a grand total of like maybe 10 minutes on the toilet, and now I'm good. I've scratched that itch, and I just got to get on with my day. And that's kind of what I like about mobile games. I used to think mobile games were stupid, but now that like sort of time like that is at a premium, I'm way more sort of open to the idea of every game I play as a mobile game now. Because a lot of these games, I'm pretty familiar with, like Mahjong and Solitaire and all that. Like all those free games that you used to get on Windows and stuff. And I'm talking like back in the 90s. I love a good survival game. I just don't have the patience. I just don't have the patience to play them anymore. Oh, another game I love is Poppy Playtime, because like the story's pretty compelling. And I think it's getting sort of close to the end, like each chapter is sort of released intermittently, and like some are obviously better and have more going on than others. Like the first chapter is basically a playable demo, but it starts getting like deeper and crazier after that. I think the most recent one, what's it called? Chapter 4. Can't remember what it's called. But yeah, it's got the character Doey, and it's okay, but compared to the Catnap episode, like, it's not that great. Yeah, it's called Safe Haven. Chapter 3, Deep Sleep. That was crazy. I love that one. I think it's also because Catnap is like a way more like genuinely scary character. Now we've gone over an hour. So we've made pretty good progress on this one. Pretty happy with how it looks. Start adding in some heavy shadows. And I think we'll call it a night relatively soon. Like, also this close to, like, during the Easter holidays and stuff, like, there's just so much going on. Like, I do enjoy, like, the Easter break and everything, but quite frankly, like, I do relish the part of the year where it's just people are just back at work and back at school and just like just being as productive as possible, you know? Like I used to love the holidays. I used to like, really sort of long for them and dream about them and just think, oh, all the cool things I'd do if I wasn't in school or if I wasn't at work. Now I'm like, I want everyone just to go back to work, you know? I want everyone just to go back to school, just get, you know, just go make money and stuff. Go learn stuff. Everyone's constantly sort of fiending for the idea of like just freedom constantly, but like that takes work, you know? Dang it. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, there are ads on my channel. I did make it to the what's it called? The partner program or something like. Oh no, I made affiliate. Sorry, yeah, that's what it is. Affiliate. So yeah, it's good to be back. I wanna just finish up this grass here. Yeah, I mean, I think the way it works is the longer I'm live, the it's sort of like it stacks slowly. Um, so I have to make a real good shake of it going forward. So I can start like I can incorporate games back into what I'm doing as well if I do have the time for it. So I mean, like, I complain a lot about not having enough time for games, but that's kind of the reason for Twitch in the first place. So I will, you know, showcase my skills in my games at some point. But that's not really the primary focus of what I'm doing here. I kind of want to keep it to like, you know, the one theme and everything. Because, you know, there are other artists on here who you know, you think they'll be doing something creative, and then you sort of tune into their channel and you realize they're just playing video games like everybody else, and you think, ugh, why can't you be drawing? I liked it when you were drawing. Or why can't you be doing like, you know, 3D sculpting or whatever? And I get it that like, of all the art that you can do on here, of all the things rather that you can do on here, sort of being like doing just art in general, like that's actually pretty tricky. And I totally admire the people that can just sort of create these sort of masterpieces without much thought. Like, I don't put too much thought into what I do either, but, you know, I tune into some of these channels and it's some dude and he's doing like this hyper realistic, like, it looks like the way he draws, it looks like a photo. But the thing is, it takes so long for him to do it. Cause like, he's like this, just tiny. It's like he's drawing a pixel at a time, and it's so like labor intensive and draining and constant. And I'm just like, I can only admire and just be fascinated by that. Like there's some artists out there that I just look at and just think, how do you do that? Like, I've got to know. But the thing is, I already know the answer, and it's just lots and lots of practice and having just tons of spare time. Like the guys that do hyper realistic art, I've got nothing but respect for. Like, that is just a level of dedication that I just do not have. Like, that's why I love cartoons, because cartoons, you get like a pretty immediate, like, you get the result you're after pretty quickly, you know. And I'm used to working fast anyway, like, because I work primarily as a caricaturist at parties and at different events. Like, I'm used to drawing quickly. I'm used to like sort of not really second guessing like how something's supposed to look. And that's the problem with that particular style of art, because, you know, you look back at what you've made and you just think, oh, I could have drawn that so much better. I should have taken more time with that one. Why did I rush it? Like, and that's the thing, particularly now in a time of like AI and stuff, where you can just use your phone to create entire sort of universes with just a few command prompts. Like, drawing at my absolute fastest, there's no way I can, you know, render an image as fast as AI can. And I should know, I've used ChatGPT for like a couple of months now, and I am in awe and genuinely astonished at how quickly it can just create stuff out of thin air. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I can live stream like some paper drawings. That might be on the cards next month. Nearly there. Might get this one to a point where I'm happy with it. Yeah, I do love the fact that even with things like AI, I have been so blessed to have just the amount of work just to be able to enjoy this kind of I guess I would call it like people love the fact that like humans can draw and create art, and people like the fact that there's actual human beings still able to do these kinds of things that most of us would agree that the computers can do better. And people like the idea of actual artists making actual artwork, and they're prepared to spend the extra and go, look, I know I can do this on my phone for nothing, but that removes the inherent value from it, because when something's free, it's not appreciated. When something's worked hard for and earned, that's when that's what helps add to its inherent value. Also name recognition, things like that. Oh dude, seriously, just the amount of stuff. I even jumped on the bandwagon when it came to, you remember a couple of weeks ago everyone was using the various platforms out there to make everything look like it was done by Studio Ghibli. Everyone was like, oh my god, look at this meme, it's it looks like it was drawn by Hayao Miyazaki himself, and how funny is that? I'm just thinking, okay, weird, but fair enough. And of course, Miyazaki responded to this by saying, please don't use my life's work to just make fun of stuff and troll. It's when you realize just how long it takes to make, a Studio Ghibli movie. Like I saw somewhere that there's this one scene, I can't think of what the movie's called. I think it might be Spirited Away. There's this one scene that took this animator like a whole year to do, and the entire scene goes on for 4 seconds in the movie. It's absolutely insane just how much work and dedication and love that goes into these things, and then just to have like, you know, some app be able to, you know, reproduce the same style of artwork. It just feels like, you know, it's like a weird level of disrespect. But the thing is, like, the people that program, you know, these AIs and that work on them and, you know, keep them running, you know, on the servers and whatnot, like, they get and take very seriously like the the cease and desist letters from the lawyers representing, you know, these various intellectual properties. Because if they wanted to, at this point, they probably have an AI that's powerful enough to be like the maniac computer from the short story "I Have No Mouth But I Must Scream." But because of, like, you know, constraints and laws regarding tech, they just don't. Oh, by the way, that story I just quoted is from Harlan Ellison, and it is by far his best short story. Like, I don't really have time to sit and actually like read a physical book most of the time, so I've got it on audio, and it is it's like it's chilling, and it's matrixy, and it's, yeah, it's got body horror. It's so cool. It's got lots of sort of Nietzschean philosophy in it, and yeah, it's terrifying stuff, but at the same time, it's fascinating. Like, in so many ways, humans are like, we're just moths being drawn to a porch light that will invariably like zap us. Like, you ever rewatch The Matrix, like the first movie, and just think, okay, most of this doesn't actually hold up particularly well, but there are scenes, those iconic like monologues and stuff, where you just think, yeah, I can see why this is still a meme. I absolutely get it, you know. And like the philosophy, like the concepts that are like in the Matrix, that just made everything, like, I remember seeing that as a kid in like the late 90s and leaving the theater thinking that the world was a computer game. Like, that is how much of a profound effect that movie had on me. And I wasn't the only one, you know. Like, I didn't really think that much about the red pill until the red pill became like a really big deal. Like, you know, nearly 20 years after the movie actually came out. I was like, actually, the first Matrix is nearly 30 years old at this point. Isn't that crazy? like this one movie that people have been talking about for years, and like there's been sort of, you know, university courses taught about it and stuff, and you know, this ongoing discussion on YouTube and, you know, various platforms. You know, what does it all mean? And, you know, is this world an elaborate simulation? I know, right? I mean, like the Matrix, it sort of, you don't really have to really watch it again, but it stays with you. It's one of those movies that, like, once you see it, it just sort of, it sticks to you. Like, it just stays in your mind like a thorn. Like, you know how Morpheus discusses it with Neo. And the thing is, like, there's like all the best parts of it are preserved as various clips that you can just easily access on YouTube and stuff. And I'm looking at that going, yeah. You know, when Agent Smith sort of takes his earpiece out and just talks to Morpheus, you know, like how he's aware and how he wants to be free and stuff. And that sort of reminds me again of like the I have no mouth and I must scream. Because is that about the last living human on Earth, or is that about the computer that condemns him to that fate? You know, it's one of those things that sort of keeps me up all night. Yeah, yeah. I know that kind of stuff. I've seen like those sort of that kind of packaging at like Chemist Warehouse and everything in the sports supplement section. It's like, ooh, cool. We got what are they called? Like electrolytes and stuff. I think electrolytes are a bit silly personally. Like, I mean, they're not bad as like a post-workout drink, but yeah. Like, there's just stuff that's you know, better handled with like water. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I love me some Chemist Warehouse. Like, going to Chemist Warehouse is a bit like going to Costco. Like, those stores just keep getting bigger and bigger. Anyway, guys, thank you once again, especially Court and Draco, for being so cool and jumping in. And joining me as I slowly return to my regularly scheduled programming. Yeah, I've just hit the hour and a half mark. I'm going to call it there for tonight. And once again, my streaming hours have changed, but they're not like that dramatic. But yeah, going forward, I will be posting when I'm actually going to be doing my regular, like, you know, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I'll be going live sort of in the morning to midday on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and from 7 o'clock, around 7ish in the evening till 10 o'clock at night on Thursdays, and that will probably be every other Thursday. I haven't really got like a full on, you know, set in stone schedule here, but I would like to get back to some consistent live streaming. So yeah, until next time, guys, I will see you when I see you.